I'll never forget the night I met that random hippie, a lanky guy with dreadlocks knotted into a chaotic bun and a tie-dye shirt so worn it was more gray than color. It was late May, the air crisp with the promise of summer, and we decided to hitchhike from Boulder to Nederland, a funky little mountain town cradled by the Rockies. The highway unfurled beneath a sky painted in streaks of peach and violet, and we snagged a lift in the rusted bed of a pickup driven by a silent old man with a face like weathered leather. We rolled into Nederland at 1 a.m., the streets dark and deserted, so we tossed our sleeping bags behind a dingy gas station, its neon sign flickering like a dying star. Gravel bit into my back as I settled in, the mountain chill seeping through my jacket, and I fell asleep to the faint call of an owl, figuring daylight would bring clarity. I jolted awake at dawn, a prickling sense of being watched crawling up my spine. There he was, a giant of a man maybe 6'5", perched 15 feet away on a patch of dirt, staring at us. His broad frame and chiseled features marked him as Native American, long black hair streaked with silver swept into a braid, a denim jacket adorned with intricate beadwork catching the first light. My pulse spiked as I nudged my hippie friend awake, whispering, "Dude, there's someone?" The stranger rose as I stirred, his boots grinding the gravel. "Didn't mean to wake you," he said, his voice a low rumble, steady as a drumbeat. "Yeah, great line, man," I muttered, sitting up, bleary-eyed. "Why were you just sitting there?" "Waiting for you to wake," he replied, unruffled like it was obvious. "Why?" I pressed, unease tightening my chest. "You got any glass?" he asked, tilting his head. I groaned, scrubbing my face. "Man, I just ditched Denver to escape all those tweak freaks. I don't carry that stuff." "Tweakers?" "Nah," he said, brow furrowing. "Glass to smoke." He dug into his rucksack, a patched canvas relic, and hauled out a massive mason jar brimming with sticky green buds, the pungent aroma hitting me like a slap. "Your lady looks like a hippie," he added, nodding at my buddy still cocooned in his bag. "Thought you smoked." My friend's head popped up, dread spilling like a mop. "I'm a freaking dude, man," he snapped, voice hoarse. After some stilted chatter, me fumbling, him serene, we packed up. He said his name was Lobo, a word that landed with quiet heft. "If you want to smoke, I know a spot overlooking the quarry," he offered, slinging his bag over one shoulder. Curiosity, or maybe stupidity, won out and we trailed him. He guided us through a forest of whispering pines, their needles blanketing the path in a soft amber glow. We climbed a ridge to a clearing where the roots of 3 ancient trees had twisted together, forming a perfect bench 2 feet off the ground. It faced the quarry, a vast, rugged scar in the earth, its cliffs blazing gold in the sunrise, mist curling from the depths like ghostly breath. The view was unreal, a snapshot of raw wilderness that stopped me cold. We sat, passing Lobo's pipe, a carved wooden piece with feathers dangling from a leather cord, as thick smoke swirled skyward. He launched into a story about a clairvoyant mage he called the Wizard, a figure who drifted between 2 rival tribes centuries ago. Not local to either, the Wizard brokered peace, blessed the land and roamed the mountains, sleeping in caves, offering thanks to ensure the earth fed its creatures, deer, pines, berries, people. Lobo said he'd wade into the quarry's ancient waters, measuring their depth with a rune-carved staff, divining the land's fate. Bounty at the 3rd notch, ruin below the 1st. The tale wandered, loose and dreamlike, but it hooked me, the quarry shimmering below like a living relic. We vibed with Lobo that day, so we asked him to hike the mountain with us. Snow lingered on the peaks, and without tents, we relied on fire. We'd heat boulders in the flames by day, bury them at night to warm the ground, and sleep atop them, the earth's pulse keeping us snug. Lobo showed us how to find morels, pale, wrinkled mushrooms under fallen logs, and we roasted them, their rich flavor mingling with the smoky air. 3 days in, supplies dwindled, so we descended for water, food, and beer. As we hit town, a cop car cruised by, then braked hard. The officer, a stocky guy with a buzz cut, stepped out, his face etched with dread, eyes fixed on Lobo. He stayed by his car 20 feet off, tension crackling. They knew each other. "Lobo," he started, voice tight. "Who let you out?" Lobo stared past him, silent, his gaze 1,000 miles away. "Did someone release you?" The cop pressed, hands twitching. "It's cool. I'm good to be out," Lobo said, soft like he was soothing a spooked horse. The cop eased into small talk. How long Lobo'd been free, was he okay, playing it casual, but his eyes betrayed him. Backup rolled up, 2 more officers jittery as rabbits. They whispered, then Lobo handed us his rucksack. "Meet me on the mountain tonight," he murmured before turning to the cops. They asked if he'd ride to the station, just to check things. Lobo shrugged, climbed in, and they peeled away. The remaining cops approached, sweat glistening despite the cold. "You guys all right?" one asked, voice shaky. "Yeah," I said, confused. "Why?" They traded relieved glances. "Lobo's been in a psych ward for violent offenders his whole life," one said. "Escape risk. He's bolted more times than we can track, some ways we can't figure out." They marveled we'd spent days with him and scathed, took no names and waved us off, shaking their heads like they dodged a freight train. We hiked back, waited a week. Lobo didn't show. One night, Sage, my hippie buddy's new self-chosen name, opened Lobo's jar by the fire, the buds sparkling. "Thanks, Lobo, wherever you are," he said, toasting the stars. We smoked, the silence thick with his ghost. A month later in Boulder I found a note in my jacket. Lobo's scrawl, "Wizard's Cave, North Ridge, full moon." No context. Sage was obsessed. We prepped, water, jerky, a tarp, and hit the trail under a swollen moon. The climb was brutal, shale slipping, wind shrieking, pines clawing at us. We reached a cave behind a boulder, its walls etched with spirals and stick figures. Hunters, elk, constellations. Ashes ringed by stones sat center, a leather pouch beside them, herbs, a hawk feather, an obsidian shard with a rune. Sage burned the herbs, their sharp scent filling the space, and we sat, half expecting Lobo. A low chant hummed from the stone, or our heads. And we stayed till sunrise, spooked and awed. Back in town we probed Lobo's legend. A toothless drunk at a Nederland bar said he was Elon Two Rivers, half Shoshone, half Arapaho, locked up after a brawl killed a man, or didn't, depending who you asked. "Wizard's blood," the guy cackled. Then came a package, no sender. A quarry map, an X and a note, "Dig when water's low." Lobo. Drought had bared the lake bed. We dug by an oak stump, unearthing a tin box, silver coins from the 1800s, a beaded necklace, a photo of young Lobo with a woman, both grinning. We split the haul, sold some coins for cash, kept the rest as a tether to him. But the story spiraled further. One night, camping near Boulder, a ranger, a wiry woman with sharp eyes, warned us about a local cult, the Order of the Staff, obsessed with the wizard's prophecies. She said they'd been spotted near the quarry, chanting under moons, claiming a vessel would return to fulfill his visions. Sage and I swapped looks. Lobo? We brushed it off, but days later, a flyer nailed to a trailhead tree showed a blurry photo of him, captioned "The Seer." My stomach dropped. Then came Jane, a hitchhiker we picked up weeks later, a wiry girl with a guitar and a wild laugh. She'd met Lobo 2 months back, said he'd saved her from a creep at a truck stop, then vanished into the woods. She strummed a haunting tune he'd taught her, its notes echoing the cave's chant. "He said the wizard's staff was real," she whispered, "hidden where water meets stone." Sage lit up. Another hunt? We tracked rumors to a ghost town an hour north, its sagging cabins rotting under pines. Locals swore Lobo'd been seen there, trading herbs for food. One old woman, half blind, said he'd left her a carving, a staff with runes, muttering about closing the circle. We found a creek merging with a rock wall. I waded in knee-deep and felt something hard. A wooden shaft snapped, its carvings worn but matching Lobo's tail. Sage hooped, but it slipped from my grip, lost to the current. Back home a letter arrived, postmarked from a psych ward. Lobo's hand, the order knows. Keep the staff safe. No staff, no clue. Then Jane called, frantic. She'd seen cultists in black robes near the quarry, digging where we had, chanting Lobo's name. Sage and I raced back, finding the site trashed, tire tracks fresh. A ranger later told us a patient, Lobo, had escaped again, leaving a guard tied up with vine rope. Months passed. One stormy night, thunder rattling our studio, a shadow loomed at the window, Lobo soaked, eyes blazing. "They're coming," he rasped. "The order thinks I'm him, the wizard reborn. Hide the coins." Before I could speak, lightning flashed. He was gone. Next day our door was marked with a rune, his rune. Sage clutched the necklace, swearing to fight. I hid the coins under floorboards, pulse racing. He's out there, madman, savior, enigma, the wildest soul I've ever known.